dad. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh.
Chat. If you need a bucket, if you need to take a little break before we get started tonight, feel free. That was painful, bro. You know.
I slammed my penis in the car door.
You slammed your penis in the car door.
Like, I gotta be honest, I would have rather slammed my penis in the car door than watch this episode 4 of The Last of Us. That was probably one of the worst episodes of television I have ever forced myself to watch in my entire life. I'd say it's a slight bit lower than the episode 3 of season 1, simply because they didn't devote an entire episode to it, but they made up for it, and it was good writing, John. You know why it was good writing, John?
Why?
Because Ellie was practicing her finger work with the guitar earlier in the episode, and then she went into Dina's pants, right after a bunch of infected were chasing them, right after Ellie got bit, and right after Dina announced that she was pregnant. How's this for dialogue, chat? I'm immune. I'm pregnant. Let's fuck. That's how it went down.
I just thought, I'm like, it's a soap opera now. It's fully transitioned.
This is not a zombie apocalypse, zombie, an action, a survival horror television series. This is not that. It probably never really truly was, but it's not that. That is clickbait. That is just a means to get people to tune into this show. And then the show is the fucking gay, the let's go lesbians, the soap opera, all of that. That's the show. That is the number one priority of this show. It's not, great characters. It's not a great story. It's how much of this can we shove into this show and have people still watch? And people are not watching. I've been going through, stay tuned on the main channel, because I can't wait to see what the shills did while watching this, the fucking reactors. I can't wait to see. I haven't seen any of them yet, but I can't wait to see. I've gone through the list and I'm saving videos. I can't wait to see how they reacted to this.
Well, at least you did just explain a plot hole for me, though. I wasn't sure, like, why is Dina getting so emotional watching this guitar playing? And then now we know what she was thinking about.
Yes.
She's like, I know what I'm gonna ask her for later.
Yes, 100%. That was, and like, again, chat, arguable, one of the worst lines in television history. I'm going to say one of the, maybe a top 5, definitely a top 10 worst lines in television or movie history right here.
Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah.
What's wrong with her face?
Now, Chad, do you see anything wrong with that? You see anything wrong with what she just said?
At least she was self-aware enough to know that she's the man in the relationship.
Yes, in case you couldn't tell by looking at her face.
Yeah, at least she's not in that much denial.
You thought that line was bad, chat. Here, I got another line for you from the episode, chat. This one's from Dina. You ready for this? I got it right here in my notes. You ready for this one? Check this one out. Quote, when I was little, I told my mom I liked boys and I liked girls. And my mom said, no, you like boys.
Mm-hmm. Dina's mom is a bigot.
Actual line from the episode. I think that was like 2 or 3 lines before the holy shit, I'm going to be a dad.
I also liked how her immediate response was, we're pregnant. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're having a baby. I'm sorry. Yeah.
We are having a baby. So it's like a threesome. It's like a three-way parentage. Yeah,
So she
yeah, exactly, Jake. Like very subtle from Druckmann there, wasn't it? You know, very like, you know, he just comes right out and says it. Felt like just like the episode 3 from last season. You know, it felt like I said this about that episode. It just felt like Druckmann was like in your ear, like whispering. He's like, "You will watch this. You will watch this, and you will like it." And
this is vital to the story, I swear.
I mean, I liked it for how hilarious it was. It was absolutely hilarious. It was like a virgin teenager wrote it. Like wrote his like lesbian fantasy with just like horrible writing and just let's just get to the set. Yeah, she was bit. Yeah, she's immune. Yeah, she's pregnant. Screw all that. Let's just get to them fucking.
You know what? I've seen lesbian writing this bad, but it's always been with two hot lesbians.
Yes.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yes. So it's a step up from the, I don't know if it's a step up from the game because the game didn't go this far. You were just looking over the cutscenes before we went live. The game did not go this far. I would arguably say that this was worse than the Abby sex scene in the game as well.
The only way that, see,
that one had full, like that one had like full
frontal Abby. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
With
was
the
like, that
game
gives us
model
some
Abby.
points. But I mean, like, this was like painful, chat, painful to watch, painful to
just watching, like,
probably painful to act too. But yeah, and like, do you realize like we got a full naked dude with his dick being shown in the episode, and I completely forgot all about that. Like that was like less cringe, believe it or not. That was like less cringe in a way than the lesbian sex scene. The guy whose pubes were longer than his fucking dick was in the episode. We got a little bit of everything in this episode, chat. We got a little bit of everything in this episode, and it was like fun to laugh at. It's fun to make fun of, but it's one of the worst things. Like, this is like Acolyte level woke. I can definitely say this is Acolyte level woke. I'm not going to say it's as bad of a show as Acolyte because Acolyte literally did damage to other things around it. Like, this show, luckily, is not capable of doing that because there will never be a Last of Us universe after season 3. But
and they already said they're not doing a third game, which is
yes. Yeah. That I think because they knew how they wrote this season of the show, and they knew, okay, this franchise is dead after this. This franchise is absolutely dead. Season 3 of the show is just going to be like it's just going to be like homework for those of you who care about passing the class, which is basically no one at this point, just the shills.
I'm just curious where the hell they're even going to go. I mean, I had my anger stage when the game came out, where I was, that was back whenever I actually cared. It's kind of like the first Star Wars thing you watch that completely ruins the franchise. It's like you're angry for that one, and then afterwards it becomes more entertaining because you've already let go. It's kind of
Grandmaster Chris thought that the messaging in this episode of television was actually pretty subtle. Okay,
this looks like an assault scene.
That's
just take the still.
That's an opinion. That is an opinion, Grandmaster Chris. But please don't take this the wrong way if I disagree with you, sir. Please do not take that the wrong way.
Ooh, SWA asking the right questions.
Holy shit. Yes, let's get to some of these super chats before we get going. Thank you guys for all the support. Glitchman Omega for $10. It would seem old Grace has reached her. Oh yes, we got to talk about that too. I'll get through the super chat first. It seems old Grace has reached her end. For criticism against Klondike, she cannot defend. If she does, they'll get mad. They'll call her a phobe and rage real bad. No wonder Ku Klux Klan is her friend.
I like how she just accepts that that's going to be. She doesn't have a problem with that. Like,
yes,
people are going to judge me.
If you saw today's video on the main chat, I had not seen the episode yet when I made that video. It all makes sense now. I see, because Grace Randolph did not like the show, but she's not going to come on her platform and criticize it because she doesn't want to criticize female lead characters, LGBTQ R for retard, alphabet people characters. And that's why she's refusing to criticize the show. And she said, I didn't put it in the video. I wish I did. We'll get to it on Wednesday. But she said that she got episodes through episode 6 of the show. And she's like, when I decided to stop covering the show, I did watch through episode 6. And yeah, I was still, after watching that far, I still decided not to cover the show. Now we know why.
Isn't it only 7 episodes? So
there's only 7 episodes.
She got sent everything except the finale. That's a weird thing to do anyway. Was the finale going to piss everybody off even more?
Probably. But yes, so that makes it make more. So she had probably, so at that point when she was saying all that shit, she had probably seen this episode and she's like, yeah, I know that if I criticize this show, the fucking woke lunatics in my audience talking about Chlamydia Burns, Simple Grace Randolph, her woke audience is going to turn on her if she dares say anything negative about this show. And it's all because they are leaning into the fucking cringe. They are leaning into the gay, just as Ellie was leaning literally into Dina in this episode. Holy fucking shit. I don't know what was worse, the scene itself or the morning after scene. I think it was the morning after scene. Yes,
that was pretty cringe. The pillow talk was like, wait, we need to eat beef jerky to freshen up our breath. Oh my god,
literally.
Just get it over
it's
with.
It's like Druckmann wants people to stop watching the show, and people are stopping watching the show. As soon as we're gonna go through like the views that some of the shills have on their fake reaction videos. Remember, chat, when I said about Skeleton Crew, you know, a little forecast, a little preview for the overall viewership. Look at the fake reactors. If people are watching the fake reactors, the more people that are watching the fake reactors, the more people that are watching the show. And where is Mary Cherry? Mary Cherry, 300,000 subscribers. I'm going to put this up right now. Look at this. Over 300,000 subscribers, Mary Cherry. Look at this, chat. There's her video. 7 hours, 3.2 thousand views.
Damn.
I believe it might be over 200. Let me double check. I think it's over 200.
Your pod dad boss now.
273,000 subscribers. And on the day after the best show to ever be aired on HBO Max, 7 hours in, she's only pulling 3.2K views.
I have like 4,000 something subs, and my fake reaction to one of the recent trailers got more than that, which is pretty bad for a 200 something thousand sub channel.
So, chat, so there's your little preview. There's your little forecast as to what the overall viewership. People are leaving this show. People are like, you got Real Rejects down here, 65,000 views in 20 hours. That's bad for them.
Do they just
you got this guy with over 100,000, 2.4K views in 6 hours. There's the goat. She has 3.2K in 4 hours, a little better than Mary, about the same as her. This chick has a lot of subs, 8.4K in 8 hours. Bro, my video today on Chlamydia Burns, Grace Randolph. Think about this, chat. My video today on Chlamydia Burns, Grace Randolph, it's been up 1 hour less than Mary Cherry's. It's been up for about 6 hours, and it has over twice as many views. I have 29,500 subscribers, just about. By the way, we are on the main channel, and make sure to subscribe to this one as well. On the main channel, we are less than 5. We're about 500 subscribers away from 30K. Let's get there, by the way. I want to get there ASAP, hit that milestone. But I'm telling you, this show is hemorrhaging viewership. This show is imploding faster than you could ever imagine. Look at these two. 2 hours, 2 hours ago, 746 views, 158,000 subscribers. If that were me and I had that many subscribers and I were pulling that in 2 hours, I would quit covering it. I would
dead.
absolutely quit. I would be like, you know what? This ain't fucking worth it.
You need the clip. It's dead, Jim.
Oh, this chick! I gotta put this chick. I gotta
Who the
save
hell-
this chick's
oh,
video.
we
This
got-
chick this chick is fucking this. I think this is a this chick's from Raging Rhinos part of the country or part of the world.
Going through her emo stage late in life. I
There's
see.
yeah. There's a funny little gal reacts who people were snitching on me in her comment section 2 weeks ago. 137,000 subscribers, 14K. They're doing a little better, but that's still terrible. There's Roxy with epic shill face.
That's just a well. I was gonna make a
Yeah.
crude joke about Roxy, but I won't.
Because we don't want to get too toxic on the stream tonight, because apparently we haven't hit there yet. Scissor me timbers, chat. Scissor me timbers. Mr. Grant Gregory's in the chat. What's up, dude? Are you watching this show? You have to let me know if you're watching this show. Chekhov's fingering, the new storytelling meta. Wonder how many fingers Ellie got in. How many fingers do you think Ellie got in there?
Well,
Chat.
Jesse loosened it up for her, so then Dina was
Yeah,
like,
well,
"It's okay
Jesse
now."
is Asian.
Nah,
Jesse
that's
is
true.
Asian, so he might not have loosened it up that
so
much.
Ellie was loosening it up for
Might have been a
Jesse.
pinky. I don't know.
Oh,
Ellie's gay,
God.
by the way, chat.
Ellie's gay, by the way.
Ellie's gay, by the way. More like triggered little gal. Yeah, I believe with Jacob.
We need Seth to come back and kill all these people.
Yeah, I was wondering whenever she's like, I'm like whenever she's like, oh, my mom said you like boys. I'm like, are you sure it wasn't Seth who told you that? Dina.
Well, Seth is her dad. The mom is.
Yeah. SWA for $10. Fuck Bella Ramsey. You know, they did a like a round table with like Druckmann, Bella Ramsey, the director, and the actor who played Dina. I think I watched 10 seconds of that and I was like, nope, I can't watch this. This is like so like they're just there patting themselves on the back, jerking each other off about what a great job they've done on this show. Yeah, I can't wait for the overall viewership numbers.
Your chemistry with Dina was so magnetic. Oh, thank you.
Again, chat, this is a like man in his 40s writing teenage girls or girls in their early 20s / they're teenagers in the show. A man in his like mid to late 40s writing teenage girls, late teens, early 20s to finger blast each other. On set. I wonder how many bad takes there were. I wonder how many times they had to reshoot that scene. I bet they were like, yeah, we need another one.
Bella kept asking for more, and Dina kept saying,
we need
I think
another
we got
one.
it. We can move on now.
We need another. I need to see that. We need to try another angle, ladies. Sorry.
Oh no.
God.
Bella, try using your middle finger this time.
SWA for $5. Who's worse, Bella Ramsey's Ellie or whoever plays May and Osha?
I mean,
I think Amanda Stenberg is worse because she did that like music video and the fucking crybaby. Now Bella Ramsey hasn't done that yet. I'd say that she, they, it. I don't know. I guess I will say that Amanda Stenberg is definitely better to look at than Bella Ramsey.
That was my tiebreaker. At least they're both really bad at acting. I mean, I would say Amanda was probably a worse actress in The Acolyte, but at least I'm not cringing every time I see her face.
Yes, good question there. I would have to say though that Osha or May and Osha, Amanda Stenberg is probably the worst of the two. Grandmaster Chris for $2. Scissor me timbers, lads. Yeah, I might have to title Wednesday's Shill Watch along Scissor me timbers.
I'm surprised they didn't get to that. They were still all clothed the next morning. So that
yeah, I was wondering, like, I asked you before the stream, you think there was like maybe like a screwdriver or like or something that they could have used, you know, like I guess like, you know, the one end of the screwdriver would probably be more painful than the other. But like, maybe there's something. There looks like on the left side of the screen, there's something laying down over there. Maybe like maybe a hammer? Maybe like the handle end of a hammer or something. I don't know. I don't know, you guys.
Ellie's like, did you see any flutes with those guitars?
Literally, like, yeah, literally like American Pie in this bitch.
Jamie and Cersei, God help me. No.
Red Jaguar for $2. I would rather watch Jamie and Cersei. God help me, bro. I would agree with that. I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Yeah. Oh, and yes, speaking of Game of Thrones, according to Grace Randolph, Joel's death was up there with when Ned Stark died during the Red Wedding.
Right. Totally not. Even Neil doesn't give it that much credit. He says, I needed something exciting to happen, so I killed Joel. Was basically
Because,
his entire reasoning.
Because as we all know, chat, yes, Ned Stark, Sean Bean, Ned Stark died in the Red Wedding. Not at the end of season 1, not beheaded by Joffrey. He died at the Red Wedding.
Also, we all knew Sean Bean was going to die. You know, he always dies.
Totally died at the Red Wedding, bro. Yeah. Totally. Genius. My goodness. All right, so we kind of got into like the shills viewership and everything. I'm going to have to be careful clicking through this because there's literally a dick and balls that shows up. So I'm going to have to be a little careful when we get to that part. Let me get the screen ready to go. We have 93 people in the chat. So here's hoping. Be sure to smash the like button, guys. Help us break 100. Maybe we could break a record for these streams now. How you guys liking these breakdown streams? I think I'm getting the hang of it. I think I'm like getting into like a rhythm with these, and I might start doing more and more. I'm really enjoying them. I'm enjoying them on this channel. Yeah. Getting the Mr. Grizzly Live channel going and shit. All right, let me get the screen ready to go. Entire screen. And yes, I don't know if you got my message on. Last week's stream got fucking copyright shenanigans by HBO, so I'm gonna have to be extra careful today. Probably not gonna play any scenes this time, but not that I would ever in a million years want to, because I don't want to torture the good people in the chat. So we kick off. Let me get to the page 1 of my notes.
Chat, give it the upward finger.
Yes, give us the finger, Chad. Give us a couple fingers. Get on your alt and give us another finger as well. As many fingers, as many thumbs as you can. All right, so we kick off with this flashback. Now, do you know who these guys were? These were the
So Fedra's basically the military. Right? No, this was Fedra. So Fedra, the military took over all the cities after the apocalypse, and they like quarantine. They took over all the quarantine zones. And so this was back when the leader of the WLF was still with Fedra, because there was like a civil war in Seattle between the factions who wanted people to have more rights, people who wanted the military to control everything. So that's why he betrays them here.
Yes. So I wrote down for this scene, first thing, so flashback to the Seattle quarantine. That's the first thing I wrote. And then the first bullet point on this, I wrote toxic masculinity.
Toxic white men. And then the one black guy is very nice. They're talking about how they took away their right to vote. They're destroying democracy. It's a constitutional crisis, guys.
Yep, and they're mocking the people who are upset that they don't have the right to vote anymore, and they're all laughing and giggling. Look at this guy, fucking laughing it up.
That's how they see Grizzy.
At the poor innocent people. This is the Trump administration, according to the fucking freaks.
It's Pete Hanks.
Watch this show.
There. Yeah.
So we get. Let me see if I can find him. This guy now. Who? This is Who is that? I've seen this guy in other things. Who is
Jeffrey
this?
Wright. He was Commissioner Gordon in the new.
Okay, that's right. I thought that was him. Yeah, the beard. The
and
beard and everything threw me off. Yes.
You know, Marvel's What If. He's the narrator voice of the Watcher. He's done a few things. He's a pretty good actor.
Jeffrey Wright is in this. Now, I'm going to come out and say this, chat. The most interesting part of the season so far has been this guy, and we got 2 scenes with him. Seriously, the torture scene, which is the torture scene, which is coming up later. And this scene right here, I'm more invested in, his name's Isaac, right? I think Isaac was his name. Is he in the game?
Yeah, and that's actually played by Jeffrey Wright, I'm pretty sure.
Really? Interesting.
I think they got the same actor because he's like middle-aged, so he wasn't aging as much as the other people.
Right. Yeah, so like I was more invested in what this dude was doing than anything with fucking Ellie, anything with even fucking Joel in the beginning of this season.
Yeah, he's definitely more interesting than the main characters.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are left.
All right, so he basically gives the soldiers who are like, mocking the people, he fucking shuts them down and gives them a piece of his mind. He's the sergeant. And then comes out and who's he talking to here? Just some of the people?
Yeah, this is part of the people that were basically rebelling against Fedra. So, he meets them, obviously making it look like he's negotiating with them.
Guy on the right's a tall motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Can't
Holy
even see
shit.
him. He's off screen.
Holy
Slender
shit.
Man.
Yeah, look at that.
Victor Wembanyama over there. All right. There he is.
So, yep, there he is right there. And then he basically just turns on the...
Yeah, he tosses a couple grenades into
Yeah, he tosses a couple grenades in the vehicle where the soldiers are. I'm going to see if I can get it.
I think this is after he had done that because that guy's reacting to him killing all the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
here it
there
is.
they
Yep.
are.
So, yeah, he just like chucks a grenade in here. He's just like, yep, no big deal.
Shoink. Whoa.
Take that, toxic masculinity. Take that, toxic white men.
It's a good thing none
There
of them
you
pulled
go.
a Steve Rogers and jumped on top of it. They would have all come out firing at these people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that got some applause from the shills on that one.
Yeah, kill the toxic. That's a bunch of sets in there. Yeah.
Oh, and also, by the way, chat, no Abby in this episode. We might not be getting any more Abby for the rest of the season, perhaps. Maybe the finale?
Yeah, I'm guessing that they'll tease her in the finale and show, like, Seattle Day 1, because, I'll spoil it right now, they go through 3 days in Seattle, which they note in this episode. They do, like, the Day 1 thing. And then they rewind it once you take over Abby's perspective in the game. And they put it, Seattle Day 1 again. Hey, Abby would have been better than what the hell we just saw.
Yeah, so I'm guessing what Druckmann's trying to do here is he's trying to give people time to get over Abby killing Joel. Because in the game, she kills Joel, and then you immediately go to playing as her, which was a...
No, you play as Ellie for a while, and then once you've, like, killed everybody, it's like the second half of the game, all of a sudden it rewinds to Abby's like flashback with her dad, because that's when everybody fucking rage quit the game. I think it was PewDiePie had the famous clip where as soon as you take over Abby, his chat starts saying like, now you play as Abby for 10 hours, and he like goes to delete it from his PS4 right away. It's like so pissed off.
So that's how they're doing. Okay, yeah, that was my. For some reason, I thought it was like immediately after that. I watched like the full gameplay, but that was like that was like 5 years ago now.
You play as Abby a little bit in the beginning whenever she's rescued by Joel and everything. You're playing from her perspective then, so you get a little tease of it, and then she kills him, and then it's Ellie for a while.
Okay. Unreal. So yeah, so that's pretty much looking like how they're going to do it. They're going to go the rest of the season with Ellie. And then next season, season 3 is going to be all so he's probably going to give people 2 years to forgive Abby.
Yeah, and everybody who's been told that, oh, it's just a different perspective, guys, they'll all say, oh my God, I totally understand Abby's perspective. I don't feel bad at all. They'll do as they're told.
Yep. No flashback on this one. So 11 years later, and we're here with Dina and Ellie, our 2 new protagonists who will be carrying this show the rest of the way, or at least this season, the rest of the way.
Whew. Buckle up.
You excited? Yes, and you're good. Yes, and here we go, Chad. Here we go. And it starts off already. So they're going through like a store or a gas station or something. Dina finds something and is like, oh, I need to pee. Wink audience, it's a pregnancy test.
Because she was throwing up in the previous episode, if you remember.
Yep.
In the morning.
So then we get the Seattle day one. There it is. Got it. Yes, we get the Seattle day one, just like in the game. And then, so they jump on the horse. Dina doesn't tell Ellie yet about the pregnancy test. And then they're riding down, and we get pride flags and pride paintings on the wall in Seattle. Look at that, Chad. Isn't that great, Chad?
Even 2003 Seattle was apparently very into Pride Month /week /day or whatever this is.
Yeah, there was another flag, and there was like some lines. They're just
Sergeant
riding.
Sodomy, Seattle looks the same. That's very true. Post BLM, they didn't bother cleaning up.
Yep, and they're like, "Oh, what are these rainbow flags?" Like, so they don't know what it is.
Yeah, because
like,
we're past
very,
all that,
very.
guys.
Once again, very, very subtle from Druckmann here with what he's going for in this series. And then they see off in the distance the wolf logo on a building.
That was a great pause face because it was just Dina rethinking her life decisions whenever she was looking at Ellie.
That's the that one right there. That's the actress.
Geez.
That's the actress. Like, that's right when they told her, like, off camera, hey, she's gonna be fucking feeling up your cunt a little bit later.
Live reaction.
That's the Dina looking at Druckmann like, what?
She's just rethinking her life decisions right now. Both Dina and the actress.
There's a lot of people working against you, Sergeant Sodomy.
Yeah, if we gotta pause, we should do it on Dina's face, not Ellie's.
Yeah, there's a decent one.
It's so true though. I'm gonna settle for you, and I'm also gonna have you take care of my baby. Wow.
Pretty much.
Romantic.
So they see, I don't know if I can find it, like, so they see the HQ for WLF.
Oh, yeah, they see a radar dish that's painted with it, I think, on top of a tower.
And then Ellie's like, we need to go for it. And Dina's like, no, if it's that big, they want us to see it, so they'll know that we're coming. We need to go at night.
And soon we'll be coming in a different way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
There she is. She's smiling thinking about it. Look at that.
Yep. So she starts playing, and then we get the iconic scene from the game when Ellie plays the guitar. And this here it is, Chad. Here's Ellie practicing warming up her fingers for what's about to happen a little bit later. Warming up her fingers with the guitar.
This scene made no sense even before this because Dina starts playing the drums. And it's like, you just went into a dark building where all the evil infected people respond to noise, and you start banging away on the drums. You don't think you might be a little bit more careful in your apocalypse?
Yeah, and we talked about this on the member stream yesterday. I'm just going to mention it again with regards to last episode. So they both camped out together, as you recall, chat. So, like, why was neither of them standing guard? Why was nobody standing guard in the apocalypse where there's infected roaming and there's raiders and all different kinds, after they just found a group of dead people as well? Like, why wouldn't it make more sense for like somebody to be standing guard at all times? They just fire up a camp and go to sleep. Anything can happen.
Could be evil like Andor and kill the gays.
Yeah. So then Dina comes up and starts watching. All Dina does in this show is just brown nose Ellie.
Pretty much.
You ever notice that's all she does? She just talks about how great Ellie is. She's like, it's like Druckmann talking to the audience. Like she just tell her how great she is and everything. Just every single scene, she's glazing Ellie.
Mm-hmm. No, at the end of the last episode, I remember it was like, "You're so fierce. You don't need to pretend to be a warrior or whatever." God. It's like, oh
she's just like giving her the look like God, and you knew that it was coming, but like they still coming. That you knew that it was about to happen, and they still found a way to like.
And then she's like crying at this scene because Ellie we had to listen to Bella Ramsey sing "Take on Me" and play her guitar
for like 3 uninterrupted minutes. By the way, Chad, this went on for like 3. I wrote this down. It went on for like 3 minutes, and it was terrible. And Bella Ramsey can't sing.
And then Dina's like, "Oh, you're so good." It's like that would not be my reaction to that. Be like, okay, moving on.
And I literally wrote in my notes here, like this is at the point where I still thought that this was going to be like 100% a filler episode. And I literally just wrote in my notes here, I just literally wrote this: Ellie cannot carry this show. This was so bad that like I was like, Ellie absolutely the fuck cannot carry this motherfucking
And
show.
what you mentioned with Dina is very true in the game too, because they pair you up with her and it's supposed to be like the Ellie Joel dynamic from the first game, only like twice as long. And it's so true that like she has no character other than just to talk well about Ellie and to be there for Ellie. It's ironically like the shallow female character that a lot of the shills would probably hate, where they're like, they're just there to be a love interest. It's like,
Right?
that's all
Like,
Dina is.
There's no conflict. There's no conflict between them. They just agree on everything, like what to do. Like if one of them corrects the other, it's like, oh, okay, great. Yep, we'll do that. Wonderful. Horrendous. 100%. I would
it was
love
absolutely dreadful, Ellie.
Yeah, we need like Simon Cowell to like judge this fucking show.
You can clip in, if you make a video on this episode, some of his like most, scathing remarks about any performance, and then just show Ellie playing.
And there's
absolutely dreadful.
There's Bella Ramsey, who, as you recall on Wednesday, John Roca says that the reason we don't like Ellie is because we're not sexually attracted to her.
It's a popular shill sentiment.
Yes, yes. So that explains it. That's why we all hate Ellie as much as we do, because we're not we need to be sexually attracted to all of our female protagonists.
That's a pumpkin, yes. Slash a thumb slash Buzz Lightyear. I've seen those photoshops. The Buzz Lightyear ones are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And like it's like, yeah. All right. So this so now we get to probably the other good scene in this episode. Okay, I got to be careful here because this is where the dick and balls show up. So yeah, I don't want to get the stream.
If you want to skip ahead safely and then
I'll
rewind,
I'll just put us up like this and keep skipping scenes, and then when I go to the next one. So this is so here is Isaac, and he is torturing one of the scars by lighting a pan or heating up a pan, and then just like all over his body. And this guy looks like he's been like he's like shaved and like looks like a fucking crazy person. Like, it looks crazy.
Yeah. So the scars, I think they pretty much all, I know the little girl in the last episode still had her hair, but I'm pretty sure all the adults like have their heads shaved, and then they do the obvious, Joker scar thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they all get indoctrinated.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of bald representation in this season.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get like an image of the guy. So, okay, let me make sure he's not fucking naked here. Okay, he's okay. I think I can show this one. So here's the guy. Literally looks all kinds of fucked up, and yeah, like you literally see full on dick and balls. So thank you, Druckmann, for that.
Druckmann was like, "Yes, hit him with the pan." Yes.
Druckmann's like, "Yeah, we gotta show some men in this because we're going so far with the ladies." So yeah,
but only so they can get beaten. Punish their toxic masculinity.
Pretty much.
And he's talking all about how the Seraphites, or these scars, are basically a big religious cult. And I forget how this started in the game, but yes, one of them basically dies, and then they all start worshiping her like a goddess. So that's what he keeps referencing.
Pretty much, yeah. So basically, there's a scar attack incoming on WLF, and he's trying to figure out like where the attack's going to happen and everything by torturing this guy. And then he gets no info out of him, and then he eventually shoots him. Yeah, see, there's like, look at this motherfucker. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And then he basically shoots the guy, and okay, I think we're good now. Then we get back to our two heroes, Ellie and Dina. So we're back to them.
Heroes.
And I made sure to write this down at this point. So we're halfway through the episode, and we've had an episode and a half now with absolutely zero infected. I just wrote that down in my notes, by the way. So we've had an episode and a half with 0 infected. But don't worry, chat. They're going to show up when the plot needs them to show up. They're going to show up when Ellie and Dina need rescuing here in a bit, right? Didn't you love how that was
pretty much
very well written, more and then storytelling?
And then, well, speaking of and then the WLF act like complete idiots once they run into infected. They like listen to them coming for about 5 minutes and just look around. Oh.
What is that?
Oh.
What is that? Okay, since we're about, I'm going to catch up on some of these super chats real quickly since I am halfway through the episode. Glitchman for $2. Cuckman did all this just to please Anita Chan. Oh, that's the chick who wrote some of the game, or she's working on this, right?
Oh, it might have been the director. I know they showed her in the after the episode or whatever, that it was a different director for this episode.
The chick. People were like posting pictures of her in my like tweet from earlier.
Yeah, the large whammon. Think of that.
Red Jaguar for $2. Finger that like button, chat. Yes, please do. Finger that like button, chat. Got to give us a let's go lesbians as well.
Unlike actual fingering, only hit it once though.
Let's go lesbians. Let's go lesbians.
Let's go lesbians. I hope to God I get a shill saying let's go lesbians. I wonder if we'll get a shill let's go for the sex scene later.
You need Soups to watch it.
I know Ku Klux Katarn gave us a let's go for the lesbian kiss in Andor, apparently. I haven't seen that yet, but apparently that did happen. Winter Fire for $5. 1 to 3 years 1 to 3 years past expiration date is how long it's good. So it works for Lori using one in The Walking Dead. Also, Fat Commie Michonne doesn't have Planned Parenthood.
So he's talking about the pregnancy test, obviously, with the 1 to 3 years. So this is like 20-something years afterwards. So
we're just gonna go ahead and ignore that plot hole, that obvious inconsistency, right, Druckmann? Yeah, of course. Lots of that in this show. It really is. Just like a lot of just fucking, oh, this needs to happen, that needs to happen, therefore it happens. Red Jaguar for $5. I don't care if I'm with Jenna Ortega. I'm not doing it outside a safe area in the apocalypse. Especially like right after you were chased by infected, bitten by one, and then the other person tells you that they're pregnant, and there's non-infected chasing you as well, looking for you.
You better hope the sex isn't any good, because if you make any noise, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
You're going to have a bad time.
Okay, so back to our, back to our heroes. So Ellie and Dina, they're scoping out this building. And they break in. Was there a significance of this building? I don't recall.
I mean, it's a big set piece in the games. I think it's like your first big fight with the WLF. But as far as the show goes, it's a bunch of people hung, and it was by the Seraphites. Yeah, they were hanging a bunch of WLF members, because that's whenever they come in.
So there that was hanging a bunch of WLF members. You can see it in the background there. There's a shot of it. Fucking intestines hanging out. And then right on time, right on cue, right when Ellie and Dina get there, the WLF get there as well. And then we get a nice stealth section, chat. I'm sure is a take from the game. I'm sure the people who love the game are going to love this scene.
Oh, and the post episode, they could not stop glazing themselves over having people hanged. Like they went over like in great detail, like, oh, we had to rig up all these things to show people hanging here, and we had to use real people, and here's the harnesses. And I'm like, guys, there's been a million people hanging from ceilings in movies and TV shows before. Like, it's not that big deal. They were just like talking about it for minutes.
Oh God. Yeah, when we got dinged last week, we got dinged over that.
Oh, the after episode thing.
Yep. So I guess they must show
Nah.
that on HBO or something, and that's
They-
why 'cause we did watch
Yeah,
a
if
lot
you
of
let the
that.
episode keep playing after the credits, they show like the next time on, and then they
Mhm.
show the after episode thing. So yeah, we can. I mean, there wasn't much
Did you have
interesting
any?
in
Did
this
you have
one. I'll
any
be honest.
timestamps saved or anything, or if there's nothing interesting, we just don't have
Not
to do it.
timestamps. No, I just had. I mean, I had a couple notes, some bad quotes. Basically, the one director from like the first couple episodes was like, "Tribalism is the real disease in the world today." This is my favorite quote from him.
Good lord.
Because that's apparently what the Seraphites and the WLF fighting is supposed to symbolize. It's just like Abby and Ellie. They just don't understand each other.
Okay, now this scene made me laugh. So this guy on the right here walking, as you can see, this guy's probably about a foot taller than Ellie. Probably about 70, 80 pounds heavier than Ellie, maybe 100 pounds.
They set this up in the first episode. She defeated that other guy that was like
Oh
300 pounds.
yeah, sure, yeah, Thank you.
She can take a punch to the face from a guy.
Ellie, so Ellie pulls out. Ellie becomes Bill Goldberg, and spears this mother. Comes Goldberg, Edge, whoever, and fucking spears this motherfucker and puts him on his ass.
Is that Ellie coming in with a knife? Oh!
See if I can catch it. Here it comes, Chad. Look at that dismount. Look at that push off the back foot. The Ellie spear. Here it comes. Boom.
That's Ellie's music.
Holy shit. Did you guys see that? Wow. Girl gets it done. Oh, how realistic, chat.
I would love to see the real version of that where she goes and just like bounces off of him.
Now this is like
Falls down.
okay. Ellie's had some training, Mr. Grizzly. Okay, you telling me this guy hasn't had any kind of training? The people that we
guy's
saw at the
standing
end
there.
of the last episode marching in military formation, you don't think that they get some sort of training going on there? How to defend themselves against, I don't know, a fucking 100-pound little girl comes charging at you, just drop a knee in her face or
Yeah,
something.
really, he would have just fucking
You just
elbowed
catch her,
down
just
on
be like, whoop, like that, and catch her, and then just knee her in the face, and she's down for good.
She's like kneeing him and stuff. She's like, what are you doing? Just tosses her out the window.
So yeah, she's like giving this guy a headlock. She has a knife in her pocket, by the way, and then doesn't use it till later for some reason. Another one of his crew comes in. Dina shoots him. She shoots him, right?
She shoots him, and then
She fires the gun. Therefore, they all know that they're there. She shoots out a window, and then Ellie and Dina escape through a window.
yeah, all of a sudden it's a damn monsoon out. Whenever they came in, it was fine.
Yeah, it's raining at my house too, actually. Otherwise, I was like, what is that noise? But yeah, I'm getting a downpour myself going on over here. Hopefully I don't lose power. So they sneak into a little tunnel or some debris, and they can like barely squeeze through. So they squeeze through that.
Yes, they conveniently run into a tunnel that's small enough for them, but the other people have to go around.
Yes.
It's a perfect size. Great. Go into the subway.
Jacob, we are getting there, but a lot more stressful things need to happen before, it heats everybody up enough to want to fuck each other. Okay. So then they come out, and they come out in this subway.
Eat fresh.
Eat fresh, yes.
yeah.
Speaking of Subway, I would imagine that Neil Druckmann and Jared seem to have a lot in common.
Well, this is where the military guys are stupid as hell, because they throw out these flares and they start, and it like activates the spores or whatever. And then they start hearing the infected, and they're like, oh, we were told there weren't any down here. And then they just keep standing there for about 3 more minutes, just pointing their guns around with no formation, no fortification. They're just like, oh, what's that clicking noise? Oh.
Yeah, so here's Dina like counting them, and she's counting, but there's like a freaking horde of them. So
Yeah.
apparently like, I don't know, like only a couple of them are making noises or some shit. I don't know. So they're throwing these flares, and then the WLF, again, these people with military training allow themselves to literally get fucked by a horde of infected that come running in. And we haven't seen infected for an episode and a half. Ellie and Dina literally traveled across the country and apparently didn't even run into any infected whatsoever. We're able to camp and, pitch a tent and camp, go to sleep without having anyone stand guard because it was so safe outside. And then right on cue, right when they would need a distraction in order to escape from WLF, in come the infected.
The infected are used for plot convenience, pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much. They just come in and they just fucking own fucking the WLF squad. Ellie and Dina escape through a subway car. And then that's a good screenshot of
Running from the haters, like.
Yep, 100%. That's a face, definitely a face only a mother could love. Right there. Holy shit.
Yeah, they randomly go into the subway car, locking themselves in a confined space as this horde of infected swarms them.
Mm-hmm. So they go to one of these like old rotating doors, and Ellie gets through and Dina has not. And then in order to save Dina, there it is. She sticks her arm through to prevent an infected from biting Dina. And then Ellie gets bit.
Yeah.
As you can see, there's only like 15 minutes left in this episode. I'm sure you're probably wondering, Mr. Grizzy, how are they able to squeeze a sex scene into this? There's already so much going on. Doesn't that feel like it's a bit rushed or something? Well, don't you worry, because you're going to get your sex scene here in just a little bit.
Not only do we get the sex scene, we even get the post-coital pillow talk all
yes,
in
absolutely.
one episode.
Absolutely. So here's Dina, and Dina knows that Ellie got bit. And then immediately Dina's like pointing her gun at like crying and pointing her gun at Ellie. And this didn't feel right to me at all. Like, I don't think Dina would shoot Ellie right away.
No. You try to chop off the arm or something.
Yeah, like, does that work in The Last of Us? I don't remember.
I don't believe it does work, but then again, the infection in the games is even different because it's all spores. It's not the little vine things. So a lot of times it's just people, they don't even get bit. They just breathe it in. So I don't think there's many situations where they sort of get bit like that. And I don't know if anybody's tried chopping it off. I don't think they ever run into that in the games.
I don't know either, but yeah, so she's just pointing. It felt really like, I guess what they were trying to go for with this was Dina doesn't want to talk to Ellie or like make it harder than it has to be by talking or her begging for her life and everything.
Yeah, well,
and whatnot.
Ellie's really stupid here too because she looks at her initially and she's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I'm like, she doesn't know that you're immune. Obviously, she's shooting you because you're infected. She's like confused at first. Ellie's so stupid.
So Ellie's previous bites, didn't she like burn them off or something? So
yeah, she cut the one to make it look like a, I don't know, like a blade cut instead of a bite because she was combining the teeth marks. And then, yeah, the other one they talk about in this episode, her first one, she does like a burn to make it, I guess, blend in.
Wouldn't it make more sense for her to like leave that there? So like if she's ever in this situation, she could, look, I've been bit before.
Yeah, for some, I guess she doesn't want anybody to know, I don't know, she's immune. Probably because some crazy doctor like Abby's dad will try and kill her right away again.
I guess. I don't know.
Hands up,
so
don't shoot.
So she's like, yeah, I'm going to go over to that chair. I'm going to take a nap. You can point your gun at me all you want. And I won't change. I won't become an infected. I promise. And Dina's like, I just want to say here, look, notice the difference in acting just by these screenshots. Like, look at the actress playing Dina here.
Yeah.
Like, you could look at that is acting. And then look at this.
Well, he's pretty much always the same face.
What? What?
She should start a YouTube channel. She's got the whoa face.
Like, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it, Ellie. I just don't buy Ellie. Like, look at, like, seriously, like, you're about to get shot, and you're like, oh. You know, and then here you have, like, look at Dina compared to Ellie in this. I just noticed that when I was watching the episode. I just put that in my notes here.
Yeah, it stands out. Even whenever Pedro was around, he's a much better actor than she is.
Look at this. Look at this. Like, oh, Ellie's face just like, no, whoa. It's
Take my hand, Dina.
And then, like, look at that. And then look at that. Like major. I don't buy it from Bella. It's because she's not hot.
Yep. That's the only reason. That's why I've never
Yeah.
liked the Steve Buscemi
The old
performance.
GTA 3 line, the old GTA 3 line right here. I'm hot and you're not.
Yep, I've been drinking again. That's the other thing I always remember from that game.
Classic. All right, so here we go, chat. Here we go. Here we go. If you are not over the age of 18, please avert your eyes. I would say if you're not over the age of 21, please avert your eyes. You should not be watching the stream. This is an adults-only stream, and this is an adults-only segment of the stream because we're going to get into one of the worst things I have ever seen in television.
We need the Cartman clip. Finger bang bang. Finger bang bang.
So, all right. So basically, they're like talking to each other. So here, Dina still has the gun on Ellie, as you can see. And Ellie drops a line basically like, I'm immune, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and there's the beginning of it. Dina is like, I'm pregnant. And from there, Ellie's gay, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it is on, chat. It is on. Look at that. Just tackles her.
They had to give Dina's actress a big raise for this scene.
Would real people act this way? I don't know. Like, I guess like
clicker just comes in while they're
Druckmann wanted this so bad. Again, these are like, 40, 50-year-old men shooting teenage girls in their early 20s to shoot scenes like this.
Now,
And
Bella,
for some reason,
unbuckle her
so-
pants, take off her belt, yes.
Now
Neil
that
Druckmann in
right
the
there,
corner.
that is Ellie finger banging Dina right there, chat. There you go. Look at that.
This looks like a man assaulting a woman in the apocalypse rather
Like,
than any
this
sort of
looks
romantic
like-
scene.
Yeah, this is like more, this is more like assault worthy than the scene in Andor, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Yes, lots of no actual scissoring went on. It was fingering. But I mean, just look at some of these screenshots, man. This was the best day. This was the best day of Bella Ramsey's life right here. We were watching right now. Best day of Bella Ramsey's life. Look at it right there.
God.
Just the epitome. And I'm just sitting here like, what in the hell are we watching?
They foreshadowed it with the pride.
I'm immune. I'm pregnant. Boom. Scissor me timbers, chat. Scissor me timbers.
Oh, scissor me timbers.
Oh, Bella.
Anything else, John? Anything else on this scene that you have?
Not on this scene. We got a lot on the pillow talk, but
oh my God. So yeah, I just wrote down, Ellie admits she's immune. Dina admits she's pregnant. They have a standoff, and then I wrote down probably the worst sex scene I've ever seen in any show. I quit taking notes after this. I was just like, what? And I was just like, what in the fuck? And it was so, the pacing of all this was so bad. It's like, I was like in shock that this like actually got through for like multiple reasons, like the scene itself and the pacing and everything, that it actually got put onto television. It was crazy.
And then, because it jumps so wildly from like, there's not like been a big I guess that you could say the guitar scene, but it's basically like action straight into this. Oh God.
I'm telling you, I guarantee that there's going to be a shill let's go for this scene. I can already see it. I can already see it now.
I wonder if they would ever say that a romance like this is badly set up, or that, it was badly paced in this episode, or have any sort of criticism like that, because they're so deathly afraid of being called bigots or whatever. They'd be like, we have to love it. Clap for it.
Let's go, lesbians.
Yeah. I guarantee that they could have literally just had them making poop noises for their entire dialogue, and as soon as there was a lesbian scene, they would have to say that was well built up.
All right, John. I'm going to let you handle this scene.
Gee, thanks.
Because I don't have any notes for it.
Well, apparently it didn't go any further than the one finger blast, because all their clothes are still on, and, I guess she was like, wow, you're really bad at this, Ellie. We're going to stop now.
I guess that this is technically Ellie knocking up Dina.
Yeah, pretty much. So I just put down
they're
pillow
playing,
talk.
they're playing pretend, everything is
Right.
everything is pretend. No criticism about the lesbians. Whoops.
Well, other than pillow talk is insufferable, which I think covered a lot of their initial stuff about the you have morning breath, let's eat jerky and then make out. Whoa. Then I just wrote down Dina's mom is a bigot, because Dina starts telling the story about I was into boys and I was into girls, and then my mom said no.
I'll reread for those of you that missed it earlier. I'll reread the line again. Here is the line from Dina to Ellie. Let me get the actual scene. I think it's like
great for just randomly in the morning though too.
I think it's like right here. When I was little, I told my mom I like boys and I like girls, and my mom said no. You like boys. Very, very, very good dialogue there from Druckmann and crew. Very subtle, very, very like, built up to and paid off worthy, right?
And then Seth got with her mom because they had a lot of shared interest.
Yep.
And then, of course, the dialogue here was whenever she starts talking about how, oh, I was late and here's the pregnancy tests and everything. And, and then she goes, Ellie's response is, we're having a baby and I'm going to be a dad.
Yep. And I got that line once again. Here is that line. One of the worst lines in film and television history.
Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah.
That would not have been Dina's response. She would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jesse is the dad. I just told you.
You're going to be mom number 2.
Yeah. You're my side piece. I got the sperm donor, Jesse.
I guess, mental health representation on top of LGBTQ representation.
Somebody on the red carpet, if they wanted to troll her,
Chat's going nuts over there.
I would love if somebody interviewing Bella or Dina's actress would just be like, well, I thought it was very inspiring that you promoted retarded lesbian romance. And she'd be like, wait, what did you say? You're like, that you got with a retarded lesbian.
Right? God, like what a weird fucking line. Like, do these people think before they fucking say this shit? I don't know. I guess this. I identify. Is Ellie like trans now? Does she identify as a man?
Well, she's they them in real life. So
okay, but like, is she they them? Is she a man? Does she identify as a man in the show?
I think she knows that she looks more manly than Dina. She's at least self-aware enough to know that. So she was like, well, I guess Dina's the mother.
Like, bro, like watching the shills react to this scene is probably going to be some of the cringiest shit I've ever done on the channel. Like, this is gonna, like, they are going to be freaking jerking themselves the fuck off.
Even if they don't like it, they're just going to react with, I know a lot of weird people are going to have problems with this.
Miguel K, she's pregnant because she's bisexual and she slept with a man before they went on their journey. He knocked her up.
Yep.
And then, so I guess like Druckmann's doing this weird, like, love triangle, like inner fantasy of his where, well, they have to have sex and they have to have sex on camera and then they have to talk. At this point, Jesse doesn't know that she's pregnant, right? Yeah, he doesn't know.
Nope.
So So they have to have sex, and then the next day that she has to say, we're pregnant, not me and Jesse. Bella and Dina, we are pregnant.
Oh, and then we have oh well, that's afterwards. But yeah, so this makes Dina a really terrible person because she's talking about in this scene, she's like, I have this whole fantasy of us being together, and I thought it was gonna go away whenever you got bit.
Yes,
And,
give us that whole story, because I don't even have that.
well,
in my
and I'm
notes.
thinking, well, wait a minute, you got pregnant at least a little while ago via Jesse, so while you were fantasizing about your whole life with Ellie, you made him be a sperm donor for you before you ever even got with Ellie. You're kind of a terrible person. In addition to take any of the sexuality out of it, you're just a piece of shit.
Yes, Ellie's gay, by the way.
Oh yeah, and Dina was fantasizing about Ellie, if you can believe that, seeing these two actresses.
Yeah, so they were. So she's like, which one was like, I had the fantasy about you and I raising this kid together.
Yep, that was Dina, because she was talking about how when Ellie got bit, it was all taken away.
And this is the glaze, like more of the fucking Ellie is the best thing ever, and just Dina just keeps repeating how great Ellie is in hopes that the audience will like her. Good God, Joel. I'm sorry, Joel didn't die for this. Druckmann killed Joel for this, chat. Druckmann killed off Joel for this right here to make more time for this right here, what we just watched.
Think about this too, like she knew she was pregnant when she decided to go on this quest that would involve all this running around, shooting people, jumping against things, banging her stomach all over the, and they do this in the game too. There's a really pregnant woman who has the bump and everything, and she's like jumping on shipping crates, smashing her stomach against stuff. And Neil's just like, yeah, it's okay. Pregnant women can do everything. It's not putting the baby in. You're not even supposed to climb a damn ladder whenever you're pregnant.
And again, this scene as well just drags on and on and on and on, way too long. And then luckily, and earlier in the episode, they picked up a walkie-talkie.
Mm-hmm. So they get a Nora ex machina, as I call it, because just randomly there's a radio call that mentions one of the like 6 people that Ellie saw in that cabin, or that Dina saw in the cabin, that they knew the names of.
Reminder, she was unconscious.
Yeah.
When that happened, when they were all there, she was unconscious for most of it, and she remembers all of their names and where they are, by the way, chat. Just a reminder. Makes no goddamn sense.
And so randomly in this scene, when we need the plot to advance, they go, Nora on the radio. And it's like, oh, well, how convenient.
And there's Dina's 12 pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
That she took.
A lot of pee.
Yeah.
And she's very well hydrated.
So this was the line, right? When the line was said right here. Ellie's like, oh, I'm going to be a dad. One of the worst lines I've ever heard in television.
Oof. Yes, this is where they're deciding to advance.
Yep, and then we're going to get to day 2, apparently, and they're going to hunt this broad down.
Yep. So Dina's
together.
Like,
together. Extend a hand. Together. So we're a couple now. And they are like officially a couple now. My God. Again, once again, Chad, Joel didn't die for this.
Yeah, my final note was just Dina doesn't care about her baby because she keeps going with this, even though she knows she's pregnant now.
Roll credits.
Wow.
All I have to say is wow. And these people think that they think that they're going to win awards for this.
Oh,
and hell, they probably will. They probably will. They'll win some fucking GLAAD award or something for this. Absolutely.
Oh, episode 3 last season, people that weren't even following the show were like, we have to cover this. It's such a seminal episode because there was butt sex. It's the greatest romance ever.
Unfucking believable, you guys. You think she's big enough for Katarn? I don't know. That's a good question.
Ellie would wear the strap on with Katarn, that's for sure.
I got that. Hang on. I think I got that picture of Katarn from yesterday's members stream. I'm going to show the chat real quick. I'm gonna have to download it to StreamYard real quick. Give me a second, chat. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and as far as we don't have to show it if they're gonna, strike it especially, but yeah, just a lot of the stuff I've already mentioned for any of their post-episode stuff. It's just they talk forever about getting the bodies to hang as if that was some groundbreaking effect. I just wrote down that the director of this episode looks like a fan of this game because she was going on about what a fan of the game she was. I'm like, yeah, I can picture you with purple hair and just gushing over this.
Confirm pic. Hang on, I'm gonna get the picture because I know some people put some pictures of that chick in the comment on my tweet from earlier. Let me get that and pull that up real quick. Yeah, everybody go like and retweet the Mr. Grizzy Twitter account because it's fucking absolutely hilarious. Let me see if I can find
Even Simple Grace saw this and knew she couldn't talk about it.
Simple Chlamydia Burns Grace Randolph was like, because she's not a fan of the show. But you can't criticize this. You cannot criticize this stuff or the mob will come for you.
Automatic 10 out of 10 if it involves any alphabet people.
This is a 20 out of 10, bro.
Yeah. They were so brave to put in the pride flag, and then they were even braver to be unapologetic with their finger
this isn't a good picture, but like this is her. Chat, brace yourselves. You thought Bella Ramsey was bad. This is the director of the episode, chat. Explains a lot, doesn't it? Explains quite a lot, doesn't it? You can just tell by looking at her.
She was playing that game in 2020 like, oh my God, this is the greatest game ever.
I'm going to write the episode of the show and I'm going to push the envelope so fucking far. The chuds are going to hate it. Not just the chuds. Everybody hates this. That's why viewership is fucking...
I think there's a strategy now. If you know you have a shit show, you're just like, quick, throw in a random social cause in there so that we can't be any criticism we get, we can just say it's because of the haters.
There she is again. There you go, Chad. Look at that.
I like to speak to the manager.
Exactly. This chat, again, this is the director of the episode right here. It's funny how you could just tell by looking at somebody why it makes so much sense. As for what we got, explains everything we got in this episode, doesn't it?
Well, there was a great question.
Director of the episode, Gary.
There was a great question earlier, and it was who's more soy, Filoni or Druckmann?
I think that was in a super chat. Speaking of which,
you're probably right.
I think it was. I think I noticed that and was thinking about it. Okay, let's see.
They need Jesus.
Dr. J for $2. Chlamydia Burns fears the woke mob. Absolutely.
So the woke mind virus has really gotten into these Last of Us fans.
This is the other guy.
Yeah,
this is the guy this guy was crying during the fucking I'm gonna get this and pull it up for you guys just a second. He was crying when they sat together with Bella Ramsey and the actress that plays Dina for the roundtable. Let me get that real quick for you guys. John, if you could talk for a little bit.
Yeah, well, and that guy was also the one who had my favorite quote of the post episode, which was, tribalism is the real disease in the world today, talking about the Seraphites versus WLF. And I was like, I feel like the disease is the real disease in that world, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Rocco will probably love that if he watches that part, because he was saying bigotry is a bigger disease than the actual disease.
Yep. The bigger deal.
Let me tell you something, brother. Oh, the bigotry is the biggest disease, man.
Okay, so this is the little round table. Okay, so there's Jesse. I don't know who that guy in the middle is. And then there's Dina. Dina with the short shorts. Nice. And then Bella Ramsey, I don't know what the hell she's wearing, but
you were like, cover up as much as possible, Bella.
Like, look at the way he's looking at the actress that plays Dina. This is like a 50-year-old man, 55. Look at the way he's looking at her. Fucking creep.
You were about to cry, I think, just now. We're gonna talk about
You're so emotionally sensitive.
I was
wonderful.
mostly going to talk about how much I love and respect Pedro, but you guys are great.
Oh my God.
Let's all fillet each other
Masculinity.
under the table.
Masculinity. The current definition of masculinity. Holy shit.
Who, Bella?
Bella looks like she's a high school. She looks like she's a freaking like high school kid, like a freshman right here. Like Jesus Christ.
They're all filleting each other in the round table.
Yeah,
Great.
I like this is what 11 seconds in. This is when I turned it off.
I was going to talk about how much I love this person, but then we can talk about how much I love this person.
Good God.
He's gone now.
I had Pedro's balls in my mouth, but I can also.
Oh, look at
yours.
this freak. Look at this guy.
That is a great pause face.
Look
he
at
looks
that,
like he looks like
Chad.
a vampire right there. He's like, yeah.
That was his face during the sex scene. 100% watching it, like ferociously masturbating to it.
Dina is just like, I'm just gonna pretend I like these people. Get the paycheck. Just pretend you like them.
You know, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. She's probably a part of the problem. She's probably all into this. She probably loved doing everything that she did at the end of the day.
Yeah, she probably thinks she hasn't gotten anything because of her look. She's been convinced.
Friend, and he hadn't.
Oh, it's Jesse, the sperm donor.
Live. We got a green screen. It'll show.
Is he coming back for the show or something? I have no idea.
He'll be in
So
the
much fun to
game. He
watch.
comes to Seattle, so
Him and I guess him and Tommy are gonna show up.
yeah, Tommy's like off and on in a lot of ways in the game. He's always like changing his mind on whether they should kill Abby or not.
Yes, the men needs to be questioning and doubtful, but the women are stoic and firm in their
If only
decision.
they weren't all so weak.
But yes, Chlamydia Burns 100% fears the woke mob. For those of you who missed it in the chat, on the main channel, today's video, Chlamydia Burns Grace Randolph said that she is not going to cover the show anymore because she doesn't like it, but she's not going to cover it because she does not want to criticize a show with LGBTQ lead characters. Sends the wrong message. And it's hateful. Hate is that was another line from the video. Hate is criticism. She doesn't like making hate content. So it's impossible. So basically her words, it's impossible to criticize this show without being hateful.
Isn't that kind of the Stuckman
Grace
thing,
Randolph.
though, where if you're not talking about it, then everybody
Yes,
knows that you hate it anyway?
100% correct. She pulled the Chris Stuckman Madam Web review with The Last of Us. Like, I'm not going to talk about it if I don't have anything positive to say, I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm sure if it were a straight white male lead, she'd be going in on the show.
Well,
if it
also,
were as bad as this. But
if you don't talk about any show now, we're gonna know why. We're gonna know that you hated it. So we're just gonna say that you hate it, even though you're not talking.
Yeah, she does say that she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And then like people were like ripping on her. She was like crying over people trolling her, reading it. Oh, and Abby was never cruel. And then she tries to she said that in a tweet and she tries to walk it back. I was just playing. I was just joking. Like the rest of her tweet is like 100% serious. Oh, Joel was great. These two actors gave an amazing performance, yada, yada, yada. Right. And then she's just like, and Ellie was never cruel. And I just literally played the scene of the game. I was like, okay, yeah, Ellie was never cruel. And then she's like, oh no, that was a joke. I was doing a reference from Severance or something. I forget what she said. I was doing a reference.
We all know you're not smart enough to do that, Grace.
Clearly not. And then she's trying to make everybody else sound stupid for going in on her for not getting the reference. Yeah, it's hard to tell when you're typing it in the middle of a long ass tweet where everything else is a serious take from you. Bitch.
Normally you put a /sarcasm if you're trying to communicate that, but
or you just do the GIF. Yeah. I'm sure there's a GIF of that you can get.
Yep.
That's how you do it, Grace. Fucking social media dumbass.
I was just kidding, bro.
Thank you, Dr. J, for the $2 and the opportunity to rip on Simple Grace. Yeah, I really pushed the Simple Grace in that video as well. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. And here's the one you were telling me about. Who is more feminine? Red Jaguar for $5. Who is more feminine? Neil Druckmann or Dave Filoni? I say Druckmann. I say Druckmann personally.
Yeah, probably. Because at least Filoni, even though it's always with legacy characters, he's at least capable of writing a a Darth Vader scene or something where he comes in and acts somewhat manly.
What say you, chat? Who's more feminine, Filoni or Druckmann? I think Filoni has like a more effeminate voice.
Imagine if they got together to write something, though. Just be like, let's make sure all the men are in touch with their emotions. Druckmann would just be like, yes, and lots of lesbians, exactly, young ones.
You know, Filoni gave us The Acolyte, and Druckmann gave us this. And yes, chat, Filoni did give us The Acolyte. He's the chief creative officer over there. He's in charge of creative. He had the ability to turn that show down. Very split in the chat.
At least we know that Filoni, he would be like, I don't want to use that. That's rude.
I think I it's like trying to think. Like, I was gonna say Filoni's like a bigger retard or a worse writer, but then it's like, okay, Filoni didn't write the last. I don't think even Filoni would have went the Rian Johnson direction with Luke for The Last Jedi.
Oh.
But I don't know. I could be wrong.
No,
I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll for the chat. Who is worse? I'm very curious on this.
I think Filoni would just want to play it safe too much to ever do anything. Like, he would just make a million Force Awakens, basically, and keep bringing in more characters from the animated shows.
Very curious what the chat has to say on this one. Who is worse? Be keeping an eye on it. I will watch this poll with great interest, and it's very split. It's very split. It's going back and forth and back and forth. All right.
It's kind of the Kathleen Kennedy of gaming, though, because he inherited a very popular studio and franchise, and then they try and give him credit for the sales that it gets residually.
Don't forget, chat, though. It's funny, you know, we got George Lucas's apprentice in Dave Filoni, and we got the George Lucas of video games, according to the Real Rejects, in Neil Druckmann. Just add another layer to this poll, you guys. Greek Okie for $2. Ellie equals DEI super arrow Timu Gina Carano.
Oh my.
I also love that, like, all these people, Roka, going out and like defending Bella Ramsey from the toxic people. You know, he's they themselves said things 10 times worse about Gina Carano. Again, nobody's advocating that Bella Ramsey lose her job or get fired from the show over here. We're just saying that she sucks.
Who was the one that said, like, if you think that Bella Ramsey is bad acting, then you don't know what good acting is?
Campia.
Oh, yeah.
Campia, yes.
And he was the one that was splooging.
I thought Campia deserved to win top shill last week for that over Rogue, because he went like a hell of a lot harder on it. He said some other shit too.
Well, his last like, 2 game review was like level 11 level of shilling, where he's just like, I cannot understand.
He said that episode 3 of The Last of Us season 1 was the best episode of television in 10 years.
Oh.
Oh, you mean that gay filler episode that had absolutely nothing to do with what was currently going on in the plot of the show?
Yeah. And the thing is, he never has a good reason. He always just says a bunch of hyperbolic shit. Just like, it is an absolute masterpiece. So
woke.
It's like, it's funny because all the people who criticize things articulate their points 10 times better than you. You just say a bunch of hyperbole and that the people who don't like it are weird and bigoted.
Good Lord. All right, Greek Okie, thanks for the $2. Red Jaguar for $2. Is Ellie trans? That would explain a lot. Well, Bella Ramsey is a they them.
Well, there is a trans character in The Last of Us 2, but I don't.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah,
I think that'll come in until season 3 because that's probably going to be Abby's storyline.
Yeah, director lady created that character. The lady who directed this episode, I guess, made that character in the game. Am I correct on that? Somebody was saying that.
I don't know. Lev, I know is the character's name, but I'm trying to think because Lev ends up being Abby's like Ellie, the kid that follows her around.
I don't know, bro. Like, isn't it crazy? We've had like 2 big like romance sequences in this show, and neither of them were straight.
This coming the same week as Andor. All the lesbians are happy this week.
Let's go lesbians, baby.
Ellie's trans, by the way.
Ellie's trans, by the way. Thank you, Glitchman Omega. Yeah, Ellie's the they, them, by the way, chat. They, by the way.
Of course.
All right, Red Jaguar for $2. Cuckman was definitely on Epstein's list. You know, I think there were very similar things going on Epstein's Island as the shooting of that scene in this episode of television tonight. I think there was some definitely some parallels.
Oh,
get together, kiss each other, put your hand in her pants. Just saying, Chad, just saying. Greek Okie for $5. We will know if it's Ellie's baby if it comes out with a.
Oh my! If they're like the head's too big, we can't get it out, Dina.
Greek Okie with a toxic super chat. We're gonna need. I'm gonna need like a bell or something for like a toxic super chat. I'm gonna have to make that a thing going forward. Thank you, Greek Okie, for your toxic super chat, giving me the idea to do this. Appreciate it. Love the toxic super chats. We will know if Ellie's baby. I will read it. We will know if it's Ellie's baby if it comes out with fetal alcohol syndrome face. This is like the Special Olympics porn, bruh. I said it. A toxic super chat from Greek Okie. Thank you, Greek Okie, for the toxic super chat and the $5, bro.
No, such bigotry.
Unfortunately, it's impossible for it to be Ellie's baby because she is not the father.
Oh, yeah.
But she is a retard.
Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah.
Dina took a second. She's like, "Oh God, it's retarded."
Yeah, Dina like paused for a second, like
yeah.
Pause.
You can
Red
just see the
Jaguar.
circle going like
Red Jaguar for
what?
$2. Bella Ramsey will win an Emmy for. Oh my God. I would. Is there a Razzie for cringe or like worst sex scene or something?
I think Dina should win an Emmy for having to endure these scenes with Ellie and trying to act attracted to her.
Yeah, she can act. I'll give her that. She can definitely act. She can act.
That's the sort of romance that'll turn a woman straight.
Oh God, here we go. Real Rejects, Roxy Stryer and Pervy John will be arrested following their lestastic reactions to that scene. Is that a spoiler, Dr. J? Have you already seen it? I got all of their shit saved. I got all their shit saved. I'm gonna go through it tomorrow. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do a video on this. I think it's a good. It might be a good thing that I didn't do a Last of Us video last week because, like, they might have been like, I know for a fact they were on to me over the first 2 episodes. So maybe they thought I'm saying fuck the show now. Of course, I did do the Randolph video, but maybe they're thinking like, oh, he said fuck this show, and we can really go all in with our reactions this week. And then might prove to be a interesting. This might be the cringiest video in channel history coming out on Wednesday. So I'm going to try to help you guys out. I'm going to try to leave out the cringiest bullshit, but yeah, you're definitely not going to want to miss it, you guys. Going to be crazy. Going to be.
Campy is going to call this the best romance since episode 3 of The Last of Us.
Oh
in the
God,
first
yeah.
season.
Oh, he's going to love this. He's going to be like. He's going to be swallowing them Smurf loads.
I think I could probably swallow these massive Smurf loads.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, God. Well.
Yeah, and I guess like one more reaction to this.
Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
Thank you, President Reagan. That is what Ellie needs more than anything.
Oh.
And Greek Okie for $5. Here's a couple of extra bucks for reading my toxic chat. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for the extra 5. No other channel would have had the ball. I think a couple would have. I think a couple would have. I will say that, but no other channel would have had the balls to do it. Laughing my ass off. I think they would have. I know a couple who definitely would have. But thank you, Greek Okie, for the 5, and thank you for the super chats, man. All right, like I said, I'm not going to go through the inside the episode because we got dinged for it last week. HBO not a fan of us ripping the show, apparently.
Yeah.
Druckmann not a fan of us ripping the show, apparently. So, all right, you guys. Well, that's going to be it for this evening. If you missed, if you haven't seen my video on Grace Randolph rage quitting the show, oh yes, the poll 65% Druckmann, 35% Filoni.
Well, I think I'm going to headcanon in the rest of the season that Dina is only continuing in the hopes that Ellie gets killed. She's just trying to lead her along. Yeah, Ellie, keep
100.
going after those people. Come on, you take the lead into this subway tunnel. Let's go.
100. Yeah, you guys. So yeah, again, if you missed today's video on Chlamydia Burns, Grace Randolph rage quitting the show because she doesn't want to criticize LGBTQ characters. Check that out. Link to the main channel is in the description of the video. You can find the video there on the homepage. John, you got anything coming up?
Oh, nothing major. As you may be able to tell, I'm on the road until getting back Wednesday, so I can start working on some stuff again. I've still gotta fish through for my AC Shadows and playing some Expedition 33, which is actually a really good game. Only made by like 30 people, but I've been having a lot of fun with that. So I'll be streaming that again soon.
Good shit. Good shit. Yeah, you guys look forward to the yeah, we're gonna be ripping the shills for this that scene of the episode. I'm gonna start that video tomorrow, probably have that up by Wednesday, and then Wednesday night shill watch-alongs. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a crazy one. We're gonna be trying to figure out who was the top shill of the week.
God. Good competition.
It's going to be, as of right now, I'd say the favorite is Grace Randolph for that crazy take. But I don't know. She might have a tough comp. It might be tough on her getting a win over there. So
the reactions to this episode are going to make some contenders, I think.
I think so as well. All right, you guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. We're over halfway through the show. See you guys next week for episode 5 of The Last of Us. Have a great night, guys. Later.